All right, let's see if I can get through this. I've struggled with the emotions the last 5 years, but I owe it to Mom and you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today and showing your support and sharing some memories later. I'm here today because of my mom's prayers. I honestly believe that. I believe that Mom is now in heaven with the Lord. She had that type of faith and she lived that type of life. But, how do we remember Mom, Harriette? The last few years have been really difficult with the decline of the Alzheimer's. That's fresh in her mind, and she struggled with it too. I think she had an idea what was going on, but there was so much more to Mom than that. For her petite size, she had an immense amount of energy and strength. Even in her later years, Mom couldn't sit still. And I imagine she wore a path out in the carpet in the Glen the last couple of years walking because she always had to walk. I'd like to share just a couple of the attributes that stand out to me about Mom that go beyond her energy and her strength. I think everybody knows her, would say she was definitely enthusiastic. Even in trying circumstances, Mom had that pleasant, positive nature with everybody. Mom could even liven up any room, and she could even get me, the grouch, to smile. That was something that I'm grateful for. The creativity. There's so much to be said about the creativity. She had wonderful artistic talent. Demonstrated in one of her paintings here on display, but it was more than that. She was an illustrator. It wasn't until later in life she shared her yearbook with me, and she had done all these illustrations in the yearbook of elves and stuff. And she used to decorate for Christmas, painted up decorations that we used year after year. But it goes beyond just her artistic ability. That's how she furnished her homes, how she prepared and built her gardens. It was an artistic and creative nature. And even how she dressed. And then add in the cooking. Remember all the get-togethers we used to have and the meals she had and the dishes she would prepare and bring in. Who remembers all the variety and amounts of cookies she would prepare for Christmas? And she used to get the three of us, Karen, Craig, and I, involved in that. Bribing us with getting to lick the spoon or the bowl. But there's so much to that. But she also shared that with Karen, Craig, and I. She encouraged us to be creative in our own way. And she was, of course, caring and giving. She demonstrated that to us all our lives. She always considered others first. And this was evident by the career path she chose as a nurse and a teacher. She would often share with me, what her students were accomplishing, as I became a teacher. And that was very important to her. And she touched a lot of lives that way, both, helping them get cover and, and guiding them on the path. So, we'll go beyond that. Mom volunteered for a lot of causes. Most memorable to me was her scouting career, as a scout and then as a scout leader. Later in life, she and her partner Lou became docents at the North Museum. She really enjoyed, sharing what that museum had to offer. Mom really enjoyed and appreciated life. She was full of life, and I'm grateful that later in life she got to take a lot of trips with Lou when he was around. They traveled quite a bit, and she always was enthusiastic about sharing those with me. A kid growing up, my brother and sister became products of both my parents' influence, guidance, and support. I'm sure Karen and Craig would agree with me on that. And they let us choose what path we wanted to follow, for the most part. I know I myself did not want to go to college, but it was expected of the three of us that we go to college. And in my later teen years, I was, as Mom would put it, belligerent. And she was about ready to sign the papers to let me go to the Marines. But Mom and Dad encouraged me, or I said, pretty much forced me to go to college. And I'd say that worked out pretty well at this point in life. I'd say for Karen and Craig too. We didn't necessarily take the traditional route, but we got there. How much kind of support that we're grateful to have. Mom wasn't one that would openly tell us that she loved us or how proud she was of us, but she showed us, and she demonstrated that time and time again with her loving words and support. The enthusiasm she had for what we were involved in. She really was interested in what all three of us were doing. I'm eternally grateful that Harriette was my mom for the many lessons she taught me, and more important, the example of how she lived her life. I'm going to continue to try to live my life to continue to make her proud as she watches over us. Thank you.